What's up, everyone? IQWrestler here. UFC 131 was pretty good as far as UFCs go. Only one fight that really bored me. It's surprising, but I'll get to that later. First fight I want to talk about is a fight that really pissed me off, and I almost didn't watch UFC because of it. I'm talking about Michihiro Miguel's fight with Darren Elkins. A pure robbery. I mean, it's not even a joke anymore. It's even when these Asian fighters win, they don't win. It's insane. I don't understand why it only happens to them, basically. I mean, you get the other odd time where a non-Asian fighter gets robbed, but it seems to be mainly 90% the Asian fighters that come over and they win these fights, and then the judges say they didn't. It's crazy. It's breaking my brain. I don't understand what these idiots are watching. I mean, it's madness. I hate giving props to the BBF, but he did the right thing here. He gave Michie the win bonus that he absolutely deserved, and he'll get another fight in the UFC, so the judges can rob him again, probably. I mean, I'm starting to think that I don't want Hatsuhikoki to come to the UFC, because I'm thinking if he gets that fight with Jose Aldo, that dream fight, even if he wins, but it goes to the judges, I mean, what chance does he have? I mean, it's crazy, and I'm really getting sick of this crap. But on the main card, it started out a little bit boring. Surprisingly, it was the Cowboys fight, with Wagner Rocha. Not really the Cowboys' fault. I mean, it's pretty tough to fight a guy who, isn't really fighting back, Cowboy was putting on one of the most impressive display of leg kicks you could possibly see, that's for sure. That was one good thing about this fight. I thought we might see a stoppage due to leg kicks. Something that's pretty rare. But we didn't, and Cowboy won a very clear-cut decision. It was just an off fight. A slow fight, that's what it was. It was a slow fight. But after that, we had a fan-fucking-tastic fight. This fight was absolutely awesome. I've actually already watched this fight about 2 or 3 times. It was Dave Pee Wee Herman versus John Olav Onamo. And this fight was just a war. An absolute war from start to finish. These guys were trading bombs and knees in the clinch. Some nice little ground scrambles going on. It was all over the place, back and forth. Onamo rock Pee Wee. Pee Wee come back and rock Onamo. It was just a fantastic fight by both men. Onamo put on significant size. since I remember last seeing him. But that was all the way back in 2006, so you know, that's like quite a while. And he seemed to get a little bit tired, but you know, the pace of the fight, can't really blame him. Especially being his first fight in such a long time. He put forth a really good effort. And I think once he gets a couple more fights under his belt and gets back in the groove, you know, he could be a real force, I think. I really hope he gets another fight. He deserves another fight. And Pee-wee won this on his heart, absolutely. He was on the edge of getting beaten. You know, and he dug deep and pulled out the win with a knee and a vicious hook that looked like it slammed Dynamo's head into the cage. It was a fantastic fight. And the next fight, I liked this fight as well. It was Mark Munoz versus Damian Maia, and I was blown away by Damian's stand-up improvement in the first round. It's been, I think they said 6 months since his last fight, and his improvement in the stand-up has just been awesome. He actually rocked Mark Munoz pretty hard. I think it might have been a headbutt though that did it, but you know, he looked really good. But in the second round, Munoz sort of clipped him a little bit. You know, his power was a really great equalizer in this fight. You know, Damian was trying to get young, but you know, he couldn't really put Mark Munoz out, and he couldn't take him down. You know, this second round was very close. And in the third round, it was a really... it was sort of slow, actually, the third round. They slowed down a little bit. Munoz used his wrestling a lot. But, you know, they picked up the pace towards the end. And I actually really liked this fight. There was a lot of booing going on for this fight. And I don't really understand that, because I thought it was pretty entertaining fight. Munoz got the decision, but one judge gave it 30-27 to Mark Munoz, which is, again, insane and shows you how fucking dumb these judges are. I mean, there is no way on earth Munoz won that first round. He didn't do anything, really. You know, it's a small, beef, I guess, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. But, you know, it's just another example of these judges' stupidity. Next up was the co-main event. Kenny Florian versus Diego Nunes. The weight cut didn't seem to affect Kenny Florian. You know, this was a pretty good scrap, I guess, but, you know, this fight bored me a little bit. But, you know, it was okay. Nunes had his moments, but it just couldn't really seem to get going. It was standard Kenny Florian fight. Jabs, elbows, you know. A lot of clinch work against the cage. You know, it was alright, I guess. Then we had the main event, Junior Dos Santos and Shane Carwin. This fight was pretty wicked. This was a really good fight. Although I don't know if I'd exactly call it a fight. Junior, for the most part, used Shane Cohen's face as a punching bag. But I gotta give credit to Shane Cohen. Gotta give massive credit to Shane Cohen. You know, he survived a hellacious beatdown. So, you know, you gotta give him props for that. And his cardio seemed, you know, it seemed alright considering, you know, his nose was smashed through his face. You know, he seemed to have a fair bit of go still in him. But he couldn't really get anything going. I mean, he hit like 1-2 punches, a couple of leg kicks, got a takedown for about a second. But that was really it. The rest was Junior just beating him up. Junior with a couple of takedowns even in the last round. That really surprised me. I actually let out a laugh for that first time he took Cohen down. One point to make is right at the end there, it looked sort of like Cohen had Junior in an arming guillotine, but the leg wasn't locked down and Junior flipped out of it, so, you know, it's like a what if thing. But, you know, it didn't really, you know, what if's exactly that. You can say what if about anything, so I'm not reading too much into that. At the end, they brought in Cain Velasquez to do the whole face-off thing, and looks like that fight's about to go down soon. No, Junior more than deserves that fight. He's torn through everyone, so I can't wait for that. But you know, that's the card. It was a good show. I wasn't really bored. As far as UFCs go, this was one of the better ones in quite a long time. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's it. See you later.